This is Wizards Respite Sanctorum. We have a very special episode today where last week we did a rundown, a deep dive into Mutants of the Now. This week we're going to be doing a actual character creation of this very, very special and unique system. It's going to be a lot of fun. As always, I'm here with Zach from Old Man Gaming. Zach, are you excited about today's mutation session?
I'm very excited. We did talk about this last week. Quick disclaimer, my voice sounds terrible because I am still fighting a head cold right now, so my apologies to everybody out there. But I am very excited about this. We're going to be creating characters and mutants in the now, which is a relatively long experience. And then you and I are going to be rapid fire game mastering for each other at a later date on stream for these characters. So that's a lot of fun. And I do just want to say this is kind of a new thing we're experimenting with on the podcast, because we've done the game reviews, we've done the topic conversations. This is the first time we've ever done an episode devoted to character creation in a game. If you want to see more of this, let us know. We would love to do. We're always trying to experiment. So if you like the character creation episode, or if it doesn't work for you, let us know so we know what to do next time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think this is going to be a great intro for a lot of people to get into this game. Great to come back to when you sit down with the book and fast forward, rewind, kind of see how we're doing it, how we're figuring things out. Also prep a little bit for some of the things that might be a little bit more challenging, because this is a big character creation system.
It is. It's beefy. It's a real beefy beast.
More robust, but it also gives you a lot of options and a lot of stuff to work with as a player and as a GM. Both mechanically and storyline. That was one thing that I really liked about this. And why don't we jump into it?
Yeah, let's jump into it. Right off the bat, we have to decide whether we're a diverse group, a connected group, or a family group. I think we go with diverse group since we're basically going to be doing one-on-ones with these characters, which means that we'll get 4 takebacks. So you want to take a D6, put a 4 up there, and the takebacks come into play later. They allow you to take back rolls, both on charts and for your stat stuff.
Right. And what it means by being a diverse group is that we are going to basically be coming at this completely independently. We'll be rolling everything. Whereas if it was like a family group or something like that, we would probably be the same species, for instance, and we'd roll together to find that species.
Right. I am going to be kind of like summarizing a little bit of this just because to go into every facet of it, we'd be here for 3 hours. But diverse group means you're a solo character, basically. Whether you're going to end up with the party or not, you're a solo character. Whereas a connected group means that you're different animals, but you come from the same place. So you're rolling the origins together. And a family group means that, like, it's the Ninja Turtles. Like, you are literally a family of the same animal. So you're not just rolling your origin together, you're also rolling your animal together. And it dictates how many takebacks you have. Because with the connected and family group, you have to pick a leader right off the bat from your party, and they get to kind of hold on to some extra takebacks and throw them out where people need it.
Right.
Whereas since we're divorced, we're just going to get a standard 4.
Yeah. And we'll see how that goes. I don't actually foresee me using too many takebacks myself. I like letting the fates decide to varying degrees.
I agree. I'm with you on that. So let's move to the first thing we need to do, which is decide your stats. So it's old school rules. It's 46 random all the way. Your stats are cognition, determination, affinity, and perception for mental stats. And then on your physical side, it's strength, prowess, endurance, and speed. And these are not going to be your final numbers, so you're going to want to put them kind of off to the side, these numbers.
Yeah, maybe this is a scratch paper, definitely heavy
One
rolling
thing
session.
I highly recommend anybody out there playing it is it comes with the book. They have like 5-page worksheet for the character creation. They even have sheets dedicated to just working your traits until exactly. So like there's a
Front and back.
character creation charts and worksheet. That's super helpful because you can put it there and not put it on your actual character sheet yet. So for
Yeah.
cognition, I rolled a, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Oh Lord.
It's a pretty good roll.
I rolled a 15.
All right. For
And that's
determination,
one thing.
go ahead.
Some games, and if you happen to be one of the very many people that are getting into this from 5e, um, a lot of games are set up where you roll your numbers and you can choose where you put them.
Yeah.
This is not like that. You go straight in order from the first attribute, which is cognition, down to determination, which is the second one, and that's your number for that
And
that
and
attribute.
really, that's what the takebacks are for. There is also, I do want to point out, unlike a lot of other games where you are stuck eternally, there are a lot of skills and stuff later that will allow you to kind of like make up for bad stats or bump up stats you didn't have that were low before. But you also have the takebacks. If you don't like a roll, spend a take back, take the roll back.
Right.
All right. So determination. I scored a 15.
Okay, I got a 14 for determination. We're not doing too bad.
Not at all. Affinity, that kind of, in this game, affinity is your charisma. And that one is 17.
I got a 14 for affinity.
All right, and then for final mental stat for me, yeah, 15. 15.
16, and this is perception, right?
Right.
Yeah. I got a 16 for God, man, we're not doing
Not
bad,
doing
man.
bad at all.
Uh, 15 for strength.
This is the first one I did terrible on. 9 on strength.
That's a rough one.
It's rough. That's rough.
But strength isn't actually tied to combat in this one, which was interesting.
It is
Or
tied
does
to
it helps
combat.
with damage
It
maybe
gives
a
you
little
the
bit.
damage die. Yeah.
Yeah.
My prowess isn't bad though. 18, highest score so far. And then endurance, we're gonna get a 8. I'm sorry, I'm getting too far ahead of you. What was your prowess?
19 actually.
Nice.
Jesus.
My endurance is gonna be a 16.
That's actually my endurance as well.
And then my speed's 11. So real weird character stats to start. Okay.
Oh, 20 on speed.
Nice.
Damn. Man, I did way better on this one than I did on text. Yeah, that I rolled. This is like one of the best rolls I think I've ever had
this is
for a
pretty
character
good.
ever.
This is pretty good. It's gonna be hard to make a bad guy for you. All right. So now we want to just really quickly, if I recall correctly, we want to get our goop result.
That's right.
So
Goop.
for each stat, you're gonna have a goop amount that goes into a total. My cognition is a 16. Yours is a 15, right?
Yes.
So you got a +5, I got a +4.
5. All right. Um,
And determination, I got a 15, so that's another. So that's going to be a +5. We know that from the last one. What's your determination?
Determination is 14
So that's going to be a +6 for you.
plus 6. Okay, I see that now. All right.
Then
Plus.
affinity, my affinity is a 17, which is only a +3.
Okay, I got another 14 for affinity, so another plus 6.
+6, right? Right. You're catching on. Perception is a 15, so that's going to be another +5.
Perception was a 14, so plus 4. Um, 15, so plus 5 on
Strength.
strength.
Mine is only a 9, and here's where stuff gets crazy. Because my 9 is going to give me a +11 to goop. So the lower your stat scores are, the more mutation powers you're going to get.
That's right.
So then we're at prowess. I got an 18, which is going to be only a +2.
I got a 19, so that's only a plus 1.
And then your endurance, my endurance is a 16. That's a +4.
And I got a 16 also, plus 4 for endurance.
And then go
yeah.
ahead.
My speed is 20. That is a plus 0.
Yeah, you get nothing from that. However, my speed's only 11, and I'm going to get a +9. So there is a benefit to not taking those takebacks. I get a lot more mutation points in the hole.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm seeing that that's going to come into play a lot later on.
Yeah.
Now we have to add this all up.
Yes,
See how much
we
goop
do.
we earned out of this.
Right, I have 43 bonus goop points.
I have 31.
There you go. There you go. All right, so we figured that out. Now we get to do the fun part, which is origin. Love the origin.
Yes.
So, right off the bat, we're going to start with our source of mutation. We're rolling percentile. And again, takebacks can be used here. That's one of the things that I like, is maybe I don't like this origin. This is where I would use my takebacks a little bit even more than the stat points.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one. This is where it is the most fun for me, is the character.
Yeah.
And this is where you can really have a little bit more control over crafting what your character's personality and their origin and everything is about.
Right. So what was your percentile roll?
It looks like it is a 29. And
29 is going to be a chemical leak.
yeah.
So, goop leaked from an industrial site, commercial laboratory, or personal lab, either by negligence or sabotage. You'll be rolling on your city background, and you'll be rolling for city species.
Okay.
I need my mutation worksheet.
You know what? I'm going to use my first take back.
Okay, go for it.
I want to go ahead and use one up, and I'll see if I get anything different. 49, and so that's going to be transportation or accident. Transportation accident. Goop spilled due to a crash, theft, mishap. Roll on rural backgrounds. And a rural species. So this is a truck fell over in the middle of nowhere, and some wild animal got doused in goop.
Nice, nice. For me, I'm not going to use a take back. I got experimentation result. There was a deliberate experiment on an animal using goop. I roll on the institutional background. I roll on the institutional species.
That has had some really cool species.
Yes, it should be very interesting. So, I can't find the place on the character sheet where they put the background, which drives me nuts. Maybe they just didn't leave a spot for it.
They may not have.
Which is fine. I'm not upset about that.
And it's not super important to have that locked down. So, I mean, it kind of is, but
Right.
maybe
Background table code, I guess. Up at the top.
yeah.
I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, so we're gonna do city background for you. No, we're doing rural background for you, right?
Yes.
All right, you go ahead and roll on that. I'm gonna roll on my institutional background. All right, what'd you get?
I got Legend 26. So largely feral. Which means my animal
Wait, what'd you
is
get?
26.
26 is self-taught survivor.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You're right. Um,
As per the
this is a,
city background, but you gain a survival equipment package, scavenger, or wild instead.
I'm gonna do scavenger. That sounds like fun.
All right, so mine was a 23 on institutional background. I got lab subject solitary. A lab raised you as an experiment, but you escaped, or the organization released you. There has not been immediate pursuit. Gain 2 basic skill packages. I gotta write that down. So, 1 hobby, 1 escapee equipment package, 1 hobby. And then I get some stat buffs.
Damn.
I get a +2 to cognition, a +2 to perception, and advantage to dramatic rolls to escape from confinement. I don't even know where to write all that.
You got some. You rolled pretty well on that one.
I did. So let me just go ahead and put that in there. So we got a +2 to cognition, +2 to perception, and then advantage roll on escape. Plus advantage on escape. All right, moving right along. So now we get to do our species, which is the truly fun part, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's where it gets really fun.
All right, so you are a rural species, right?
Yes.
All right, roll that. Roll that.
Rural. So, rural species. So then, I guess for species tables,
Yeah.
I roll which table I'm going
Right.
to roll on.
Yeah,
There's a lot of species.
Yeah, there's a lot of species in this game.
So for the rural species, I would do the percentile die first, or wait, yeah,
Yeah, percentile.
okay. Or no, I have to determine which rural species.
Yeah, you do a percentile for C2, like roll percentile.
Okay. All right, I got a 67.
All right, so you're going to end up rolling on the wild species table, which is a D4, which is table D4. So go ahead and roll percentile one more time.
47.
Hawk! Red-tailed hawk.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I was about to say. It's pretty good. Can't go wrong with that.
Red tail hawk. That's not too bad.
All right, so my turn. We are going to roll. So I need to roll on the. Oh, it's the institutional. So C3. So I got a. Oh, I need to reroll that. I got a 50. That wasn't a take back. One of the dice was on. It's cockeyed.
Okay.
So I got a 50 even, which puts me at lab species. And we're going to do 61. This is a house mouse. Fancy.
House mouse.
I think I'm going to take a take back here. I'm okay with mouse, but I want to see if I can't get something a little bit more exotic.
If you're a hawk and I'm a mouse.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to be. We're going to be solos.
I know.
We're each other's bad guys. 56.
Yeah, right?
So 56 on the institutional is going to give me lab species again. We're going to get a... We just knocked out a 30, which is going to give us an African clawed frog.
See, this is what we were saying. Like, there's a lot of animals. I don't even know how to imagine. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Right? Claude. Frog. Okay. So I'm a froggy frog. Alright, so now we move on to our. Now I can actually decide randomly what my institution was.
And that's on the optional table list.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the institution real quick. So 79. It's a military institution. 18. It's an agency or bureau. Military agency or bureau. And its scope is tiny. It's a tiny scope. Tiny little branch of the military. That made me.
Okay. So
Before releasing me into the wild.
you could do like a Black Ops, or maybe like even like one of those forgotten
Yeah,
basement
that's what I'm
experiment.
feeling. I'm feeling like 3 scientists got like some funding on some goop, made me, and then got shut down.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting there. Then you can roll on life before mutation, and you can also roll on how I learned to fight.
Okay. Life before mutation. I'm trying to actually find that.
It's on page 18.
Okay. So then would I not roll on the personalization?
No, I don't like to do that because it makes how tall you are and how heavy you are, and I'd rather
Oh,
do
you're
that
right.
with the mutation.
That's a good. That's a
Tend to
good call.
avoid those.
That's a good call. All right. So life before mutation. That is a 40. Dead even.
You were exiled by humanity. Humanity destroyed your home environment either due to encroachment, callousness, or outright hostility. You had to survive in an environment unsuitable to you, whether it was new home or an area dominated by humanity. Dude, I think they built up like some industry stuff and you ended up getting forced into a park. Like as a bird.
Yeah.
So you've been like forced to live with humans.
Uh huh.
Roll another percentile die for mutation peers.
And that is a 98.
Ooh, this is really cool. You have a twin mutation. You have a sibling that mutated in the exact same way you did.
Oh, weird.
So there's two red tail hawks out there.
So
You
I
might
don't
be.
know if red-tailed hawks are one of them, but most hawks mate for life.
Oh,
I'm
that's
wondering if I have
interesting.
a wife. If my
Well, this
character's gonna
this
have a wife.
does specifically say sibling.
Oh, it does. It does.
It says you have a sibling that mutated in the exact same way you did.
Oh, okay. So what if we got forced out and we were eggs?
Yeah, that's
We
possible.
our parents got forced out and our eggs got doused in goop.
That's possible. All right, so now we get to learn how do you learn to fight. Go ahead and give me one more percentile.
Okay. This is so much fun. This
Yeah, it
is
is.
like a solo game almost, where you
Uh
get to
That
get
yeah,
these
that's
prompts.
yeah, that's why I thought it'd be fun to do the character creation here.
Um,
What'd you roll?
and that is. Oh, I got an actual 100.
Ooh,
Um,
weird happenings. Maybe the goop somehow transferred somebody's martial arts wisdom. A dying psionic imprinted their skills on you. You learned from a tribe of martial cryptids. Whatever it is, few would believe you. So, can't wait to make up that more in detail.
yeah, that's gonna take a minute.
Right? Right?
Um,
Alright, so now we need to mutate, which this is where it gets real complex and crazy.
and we I need to look up some of my animal base stats.
Yeah.
Um,
So what
that's
happens in this game is you have a size rating, a base size rating, the base goop that comes with it that you'll add to your goop total from your stats. Then you have usually 3 stats that you can enhance with goop, so make them better. You also have some basic traits, some major traits and some minor traits, and then usually like a unique ability. So you said a hawk. Let me find this bad boy.
I was looking for red tail hawk under R because they are
They,
alphabetized.
they are, but a lot of them like they'll just lump it all together sometimes. So it might just be under a hawk.
Okay, that makes sense. I think it might
No,
be.
hawk red-tailed, but it goes by hawk for some reason.
Okay.
So size rating of 4. Their starting additional goop is plus 26. They can enhance perception, prowess, and speed. Their basic
Okay.
traits is, oh man, acipitiferoforms.
Yeah, dude, this guy had to have like an
Oh
encyclopedia when
yeah,
he was
too.
making this game.
Carnivore, winged, movement bipedal. Major traits. These are the things you can buy for goop for powers. Flight, which is 15 goop. Diving for an extra plus 5. And migratory for an extra plus 5. And then sharp sight for 5 goop. Then the minor traits, those are major traits. The minor traits are apex predator, beak hooked, claws, talons, grasping feet, migration sense, red sight, ultraviolet sight. And then the unique ability you can buy for 2 goop, which is low flyer. When flying, you do not suffer disadvantage for obstructions and roll an advantage when trying to establish surprise.
Yep, flight is going to be a pinnacle aspect of this character without
Yeah,
a doubt.
I think so. So let me check out mine. I just saw it. Alright, frog, African clawed. Got a size rating of 1, so I'm definitely going to have to make myself bigger. Plus 27 goop. I can enhance determination, prowess, and endurance. My basic traits are Silenta, whatever the fuck that means, Omnivore, Respiration, Amphibious. My major traits are Enhanced Set for 5 goop, Natatorial for 5 goop, Prey Sight for 5 goop, Night Sight for 5 goop, Rake for 5 goop, Slippery for 5 goop, Swallow for 10 goop. Definitely going to do that. That's going to happen. I want to be able to eat anything. Swift
Um,
for saltation, Swift saltation, whatever that is, 10 goop. Minor traits: claws, hooked, parental eye, parental eye, whatever. Rot digestion, which means I can eat anything. Teeth gripping, and then my natural ability is trash eater, 2 goop. You can survive on nearly any form of organic matter and can always find something to eat outside of the extreme environments.
that's yeah, you got a lot to play with there, man.
That is cool. I wanted a tongue. I don't know why they didn't give me the tongue.
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe this type of frog doesn't have one. There may be different types.
That's true. Well, the only other
Um,
type of frog they have in here is a bullfrog, and that's got a croak ability, which would be
yeah.
cool.
But swallow, you're gonna be a frog that just eats people whole.
That's my goal. I'm gonna be all head.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now that's gonna be a fun for me as a GM running that.
Yeah, that'll be
I have to make sure I give you opportunities to eat things.
be a real trip. All
That's gonna be
right,
a blast.
so then they have a list of all their classification traits, all that fun stuff, and then we get into the size rating right off the bat. This is how you make your creature bigger or smaller. So with the size rating, If you're making them smaller, you're getting refunded goop points to make yourself more powerful. If you're making them bigger, you're spending goop points to make them bigger and not as weak. We're probably going to be making ours bigger because right now you're at a 4 and I'm at a 1.
They
So,
also recommend you stick between, I think it was 7 and 13. Otherwise, you'll be in kind of trouble in certain areas.
yes, yeah. Most adult humans have a size rating of 10, but it's definitely 7 to 13 because anything bigger than that, you're going to have a hard time going through a door. Anything smaller than that, it's going to be easier to hurt you and you're going to lose stat points, basically.
Yeah.
How much goop is it per level, though? Oh, it just says it next to it. Okay. Alright, so one. Now I'm going to need a calculator. Ain't no way I'm doing this without a calculator. Where
Yeah.
is my phone? Alright. Let's do it.
This is the math time.
This is the
This is
math
where it really
time,
gets
guys.
crunchy.
Bear with us. Bear with us. Bear with us.
Let's see. So yeah, I got the size score right here. They did on some of these character creation sheets, which is really cool. They do give you like a bunch of tables found throughout the book, all in one place, so you don't have to flip back and forth.
Yeah. they
Love
do.
that. That was kind of a headache with the classic
Turtles. Yeah.
Turtles game. Yeah. So all right. Size. So we're doing size first, right?
Uh-huh.
And so we also add the goop that we got from our species
Yes.
together with the goop that we acquired with rolling our stats.
Yes.
My total ended up being a 57 between the two.
So I've got the 43 there, and then my goop for being a frog is. Look that back up real quick. Oh, it's a 27. So I have 43 plus 27. I have 70 goop points to play with.
Holy crap. You're going to do all kinds of mutations.
Yeah.
Oh, you do have to spend a bit to get bigger.
Definitely have to spend a bit to get bigger. I am thinking about leaving him small, though.
Relatively small? Or like small?
Yeah, not like a 1, but like making him a little bit smaller than normal.
Okay. Yeah, so how they have it set up here is you have your sizes listed down here.
Mm-hmm.
Your size is a 0 or a 1?
1.
Okay,
I'm a 1.
my size is starting at a 4.
4. And then
Goop
for
cost down here.
right for each level you go up, you have to spend the goop cost.
Right. And the goop cost for jumping, you start at the next one down. So I'm starting to try to at 5 because that's what I'm trying to get to.
Right. So
And that's a 1.
4 to 5 is a 1, so you're spending 1 there. Then 5 to 6 is a 2. You're spending that.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go all the way up to 6 foot. I'm gonna be Hawkman. I'm going for Hawkman. I think I'm gonna build Hawkman.
DC's Hawkman.
I don't know if I cannot. All right, so let's see what my total is gonna be.
So hold on a sec. So clear that. We go 1. I'm spending 10 goop to go from size 1 to size 8.
That's quite a bit. Actually, but not quite as much as mine. I'm spending 11 goop to go from 4 to size 10, which is 6 foot tall. Figure Hawkman,
Nice.
probably a robust guy.
Mine averages 4 feet. So I'm a little 4 feet.
4 feet, a
4
4-foot frog, in the habit of eating human beings. You're gonna have to shove them in there.
Right? Okay. So, we don't worry about anything else because we want to add stuff up later. But we've got our size levels now.
Yes.
So now we need to figure out our anthropomorphic stuff. This is how you take a frog and give them fingers and give them how they walk upright and stuff like that. Now, I do want to point out your falcon had bipedal,
Right.
which means that when you get to movement, they actually start at bipedal, which means they're already maxed out on the movement. Like they can walk upright. You don't have to worry about mutating them at all in that way, which is nice for you.
Yeah. That means I don't have to spend goop evolving legs or
But
a bipedal aspect.
we do have to talk about one thing, and that is you are a carnivore, correct?
Yes.
So you actually in this game have to mutate your diet. So if you're a carnivore, you really can only eat meat. That's it. That's what you eat. Period. Some other rice and grains, but for the most part, you eat meat. Now, you can level that up to facultative carnivore or facultative herbivore for 1 goop point, which means that you primarily eat meat, but you can eat other stuff without like being sick. But 75% of your food needs to come from meat. Whereas you could then spend another point, so 2 total, to take you to omnivore.
Yeah, I'm vibing with this guy being more of a meat eater,
Okay?
but I think he's got to be at least fact not quite omnivore
Yeah.
meat eater.
Facultative.
Facultative. Thank you. That
Yeah,
these are
he was
not
having
easy,
fun with words. No, this dude definitely opened an animal encyclopedia book.
without a doubt.
So I'm
Which
already.
I think is cool, actually.
So one nice thing about me is I'm already an omnivore. I don't have to worry about that.
Nice.
So just need to check the omnivore. All right. So next thing we do is movement for me. What do I have? I do not have anything. So that means I start. Well, I don't start aquatic. I would start with. The hell would I start with? Doesn't really
Amphibian.
say.
You don't with your breathing. You're amphibious, right?
Yeah, I'm amphibian, but I'm talking about movement.
Oh,
I
for
don't
the
start
movement.
aquatic, so I would have 4 limbs. I would assume. Yeah,
Yeah,
limbless
yeah.
4
You'd
limbs.
be. Um.
Quadrupedal.
Thank you. Yes, quadrupedal.
Quadrupedal. All right, so I'm starting at quadrupedal. So we'll put that down where movement traits. Default. Oh, it says there default quadrupedal. So starting at quadrupedal, I want to level that up to bipedal. So I'm going to spend another 10 to get to semi-bipedal and then bipedal. So 10. There. I spent 0 there. All right, so next on our evolution, we need prehensility. So this is your ability to grasp things, whether or not you have thumbs, like what your hands look like.
Right.
So I believe that the default is locomotors, which means you just have something there. Then there's grasping, then there's prehensile. Grasping means you have like fingers, but you don't have a thumb. So like you can kind of pick things up, but you can't really use anything. And then prehensile means you can actually hold, manipulate tools and weapons and all of that stuff. I got the
Right.
goop. I'm going for the prehensile.
As am I. I could see this game kind of being a little frustrating if you didn't any game being. It also would be kind of interesting, but if you didn't have uh prehensile, you're having trouble with certain aspects of the reality of living
Yeah.
in a modern society.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. All right, so next one is speech.
Speech.
Yeah, so we can be
You have to
not.
spend goop to learn how to talk.
Yep. You start at non-vocal. That's your default. Then there's semi-vocal, and then there's vocal. Semi-vocal meaning you can get your point across, but you sound inhuman. You don't like use correct grammar, stuff like that. Whereas
Right.
vocal means you can speak human language clearly. You know.
Exactly. What are you thinking for your frogman?
I don't know, cause like part of me wants to go semi-vocal and just make him a real terror, but he does have a 17 in affinity.
Oh, so he could be a charming
He
frog.
could be a charming ass prince frog, like the toad place, like sort of frog.
I'm thinking the frog from the old WB commercials that used to sing
Oh,
and dance.
uh, 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 Minnesota J Frog, something like that. It was like a
Yeah.
state, and then his name, something like that. Yeah. So I don't know what I should do with that. I think I'm gonna go full vocal on that.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah,
another
I'm
five.
going full vocal. And one thing I want to note is on these sheets that we're filling out here,
Uh-huh.
the species aspects actually do have whether or not you got it as just an aspect of your species,
Yep.
like I had bipedal as an aspect of my species, or
Yeah.
you need to mutate it.
Yeah. I
So
love
it
it.
helps you keep track of things.
It really does. Now that I'm using it, it's really nice. Okay. So. Oh, and it's got a species summary. I wish I had wrote my stuff down there. Okay, so we move on to the mask. This is how human you look. So you can be like a full anime character, like just a human-looking cat with cat eyes and cat ears. You know what I mean? Or you could be anything in between. So this is how kind of like animalistic you appear. There's bestial, which means you're completely animal-like. Inhuman, which means you can pass for a human when well obscured. You, Kimino Mimi, which is definitely an anime term. You
Yeah.
can pass for a human with a minimum of effort. You have some vestigial elements, and then cloaked means that you pass for a human, sort of like short of like one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if they're really, really looking deep, like maybe you
Right.
have canines that are too big or
Right.
something.
Right. Exactly. So I he's gonna be full frog. I'm not spending any points on this.
All right.
Full frog.
Um, Bestial then
Yeah, bestial
or
for him.
inhuman?
He's full frog.
Okay.
He can't pass. He is a full frog. Like I
You were
said,
making
he's 50% head. So there's no way he could just like put on a tuxedo and call it a day.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
am. I'm making it very difficult for you. I challenging you. That's for sure.
No, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna make a lot of interesting story elements could be explored with a frogman running around.
Right? Right?
Um.
All right. So
Okay.
now we move to anthropomorphic traits,
Well,
which
let
are
me
rare.
choose my mask
Oh,
trait though.
sorry, man. I got ahead of myself.
I'm trying to figure this out. Like, how far do I actually want to take it? Um, because at first I was thinking cloaked because Birdman. Uh, but the Inhuman, what if it's like mostly, well, Inhuman was like kind of like the Minotaur, right? Kind of looking creature.
uh, yeah, I mean, I would say Inhuman is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because they could like wear they could wear outfits and pass, but if you looked at them for even more than 10 seconds, you'd be like, that dude doesn't have a nose and is very clearly a turtle. So,
Yeah.
like, I think that, like, that's kind of my judgment of Inhuman. My judgment of the Kimomimimihimi or whatever would be like those anime cat girl characters where they have, like, cat ears, cat tail, cat eyes, but everything else looks human, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I get you. Um, would it be all right if I came back to this?
Yeah, sure.
I want to come back to. I'm going to hold off on this one and come back to it depending on what kind of traits I end up spending on my animal traits, which is kind of the fun part about this. Unlike the other aspects of the where you just roll and you get your stats, you can really get creative with the character you have.
You really
This is
can.
fun.
This is very fun. It is very involved, but it's fun. So, respiration, I have amphibious right off the bat. I don't
Okay.
think you can buy amphibious unless you like have the ability to, sort of thing.
You can. I believe you can start at aquatic, so you'd be a shark,
Right.
and gain amphibious if you already have
Right.
breathing. But if you're
Right.
a air breather to start with, you can't go backwards or gain amphibious.
Right. So with the hawk, I'm trying to figure out what your sight would be, because
Formus?
that's gonna be
I need
something
to
that
look
comes
this
up.
up.
It's in here. Hold on. I can find it. Okay. Accipitiforums, bird of prey such as eagles, hawks, ospreys, and vultures make up this order. So it's like an order.
Oh, okay.
It's like an animal thing.
So that's more for character
Yeah.
and
It's the same with the Salenta is a group of amphibious that covers frogs and toads. So that's where that's coming from. Ooh, or do you have to level up to that?
so I do have wings, but I believe when we get to some of the animal trait stuff, I have to spend a little bit
Of
on
goop.
making them separate.
Yeah, making them worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Separate as in like I have arms and wings and not, you know, I have to kind of spend it on that.
Right. I mean, I think we all start at sight, right? Yeah, sense trait sight. So that's default. We don't have to spend anything on that, I'm pretty sure.
I have sharp sight as an animal feature. Oh, that's an
That's a
animal
power,
trait.
though, yeah, that you can
Yeah.
buy. That's one of those
Okay.
major or minor traits.
That's
And
right.
then we've got zoomorphic traits. Independent fins, independent wings. Independent wings, here you go. Winged, +5 goop. So independent wings. Your wings are separate limbs from your arms, allowing you to fly and manipulate objects at the same time. That's 5 goop.
Yeah, I am definitely going to be taking that when it comes down to that,
And
of
you'd put
course.
it under the zoological traits. Well, we're there. That's
We
where
are
we
okay.
are. Yeah, we're there.
So that's 5 goop. Let's bring me
Yeah.
down to 35 goop left. Um, wings. All right.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
so
already had
that's
bipedal, so
that.
I got that.
So now we go into the animal traits major. These are the traits that we could potentially purchase from our stuff. So like the hawk, red-tailed, flight 15. So you'd have to spend 15 just for the flight. Then you have to spend an extra 5 for diving and an extra 5 for migratory. And I can read those out for you if you want while you're
Um,
deciding.
let's see. Where would we find?
It's all under the animal traits. So flight.
Okay.
All right, so flight. This allows you to fly with a 100% move bonus if you have enough space to use your wings. However, unless you have the independent wings spatial trait, you cannot hold or manipulate objects, which you already bought. That's fine. Diving with a +5 goop. By losing altitude, you can increase your move bonus by 300% for a turn and maximize your size and weapon damage dice. Your choice. For any maneuver performed that turn. Recovering the necessary altitude to dive again takes 1d6 dash or sprint actions. Reduce this recovery time by 50% rounded up in good flying weather. And then migratory means you can fly for extended periods by using gusts and drafts. Roll a d8. A 3 or less means you can stay aloft for your endurance bonus, minimum of 1 times 8 hours. And a 4 or more means you can only remain for your endurance minimum of 1 hours. In good weather, roll a d6 instead.
Ooh.
So for you total, you could get 25 for the total package of flying.
That doesn't leave me a lot left over, and I still
No.
haven't put anything into my mask yet.
Well, and you still have to do the minor traits. Do you have to buy the minor traits?
You do, and they are 1 point apiece.
For 1 point apiece, yeah.
Um,
All right.
so they're not that expensive.
Yeah, and you still have to buy your low flyer for 2 goop.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
I'm
let you think
definitely
about that while I start
okay.
working on mine. My frog
Okay.
African clawed. I have a lot of stuff I can buy. Holy lordy, lordy, lordy. I could buy enhanced scent natatorial. I want to find out what natatorial is. Natatorial.
That this guy, he's come up with so many
So
like
much
really
stuff.
interesting things here.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I'm not
Uh,
gonna lie, this is be so much fun to play with like kids, you know, like
yeah.
they'd be asking all these questions and learning about animals.
Yeah, with the exception of the fact that the crunch is real in this game.
That's true.
Your species is at home in the water. Well, yeah. You gain swimming skill as a specialty skill, and you may swim at your full move. If you are already trained in swimming skill, make it a specialty skill and advance the skill 3 times. Yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take all of it. I got the points. How much have I spent? 10, 20, 30, 5. I've spent 35 out of 70 potential points, which would leave me with 35. So, slippery and swift salutation. I want to see what that is. Swift. A particularly quick creature. You add 100% to move on land. While performing a charge, you become to blah, blah, blah. Saltation. You make broad, long leaps. Oh, I'm a jumper. He's a hopper. That's what it is. It's hop ability. It's powerful
Nice.
hop ability. And then the other thing I wanted to look up is the slippery. What is slippery? Just makes it hard for me to get grabbed. You're remarkably smooth or slimy. Foes are at disadvantage to grab you. That's fun. And trash eater. Okay, and then what's swallow? Swallow is 10 goop. Your species typically swallows their prey whole. If you are grabbing a foe with your size rating, with a size rating at least 2 lower than your own. I need to make myself bigger if I want to eat everybody.
Uh-oh.
Crap. You may make a second grab attempt to swallow them. A success replaces the grab status with the swallowed status. I love how he's got a swallowed status effect in here.
That's gonna be that's gonna have so, oh my god. There are tables out there with a frog that makes a lot of jokes of a certain nature.
I think I gotta change some stuff about my character, man. I think I gotta flip it around, flop it around. All right. So I think I actually need to make him super big.
Yeah, like
So we're gonna bump him up. 10. What it said, 13 was that big max size?
yeah.
Maybe another 2, 4, 9.
Actually, I got
So that changes stuff big time.
ooh.
Yeah, I'm all about eating people.
And how big are you gonna be?
Dude, I'm gonna be huge. I am. Oh no, wait, that's too high. My size rating is. I overcalculated. Hold on. I am size level 14.
14.
So, yeah.
Holy.
I will have a hard time getting through doors now. I am now a Hulk character. I've completely changed the character. In the 9th hour, this is how I roll. So 70 goop points minus 34. So I have 11 goop points. That's not good. I can't swallow then. Crap on a crap nugget.
So you wait, say it says you had to be at least 13 to be able to use the swallow?
No. You can only swallow things 2 levels lower than you.
Okay.
So if I'm
if I'm
a 14, that means I can swallow 12 or lower.
That's
like,
a 10-foot tall creature.
I'm swallowing cars and shit at 14.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to drop because I won't have enough to buy swallow. So I'm gonna have to drop to a 12, which means I can still swallow a lot of stuff.
By the way, this size score goes all the way up to 20, which makes a height of 48 feet.
Yeah,
At that point, it is
you're
a kaiju.
you're a kaiju. Yeah, you're a kaiju. Yeah, I think that's hysterical.
I think that might be there for monsters and villains.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so I'm back down to a 12. So now I need to recalculate this. 24. Spent 49. So of my 70, I still have 21 points, which means right off the bat I'm getting that swallow. Where is my... Oh, there we go. Minor traits. There's another page here. Of course there is. There's 1,000 pages. 1,000 pages! Alright, so we're going to go swallow. Sorry, this is getting crunchy over here.
It does. It does. It gets crunchy, and there is a little bit of flipping back and forth, mostly because you're like doing exactly what Zach's doing right now. It is, oh, I really wanted that. I'm gonna have to like give up something. You know, it's that angst.
I might have to do a little editing on this episode too, for silences and whatnot.
This might be the first Sanctorum where you actually had to edit.
So yeah, so goop cost on swallow. Spent 10 on swallow. Okay, so plus 10. That leaves me 11 points left. I need to spend at least 2 on trash eater so I can eat things. 9 points to play around with. Do I want any more of the major traits?
Yeah, there are a lot of traits you can optionally choose if you have the goop.
What's weird is I'm huge, but I'm not strong at all. So like he's like real weak armed.
See, a giant frog with tiny little Tyrannosaurus arms.
He's all mouth, baby. He's all mouth.
That's his weapon. This does increase other aspects of your character, like your lift.
Slippery. Well, just my size alone is going to give me a bunch of extra damage. Slippery is 5. Which gives me 66. Got 4 goop left to spend. What's the enhancement cost? Is it like 5 on the attribute? Oh, it's 1.
I think it's 1-to-1, yeah.
It's not 1-to-1, but it's close. Dirts.
I think major traits, I'm going to stop actually just the diving and
Rot
of course
digestion.
flight.
Rot digestion.
So I'm going to spend this instead on actually low flyer. I'm at 15 now since I did not take both of those major traits. I only took the dive. I thought dive would be pretty fun and useful to play around with. And I'm not taking sharp sight. It seems like that one is a little bit it could be useful for a certain type of build, but not super necessary.
Okay.
But low flyer will not suffer any disadvantage for obstructions when trying to establish and roll a plus when trying to establish a surprise. So I can sneak down and potent. Maybe I wonder if I can grab somebody to take them up in the air and drop them.
Probably. If you've got some grapple abilities, it depends on your fighting style, which we're about to get to.
That would be cool. Okay, so 15. I'm gonna drop 2 to 13. And the minor traits. There's a lot. Grasping is almost definitely something I'm gonna have to. Grasping feet. Okay. Migration sense. Red sights, ultraviolet sights. Ooh. And beak.
Alright, so we're not doing any psionic powers, either one of us, right? Because we didn't have any goop left over.
It does not look like it.
All right.
Um,
So then we need to pick how we fight. Each mutant starts with one fighting style. The type of fighting style they may choose is determined by their background. So I have an institutional background, which means I can choose a sport, street, or wild style. You have a rural background, right?
I do.
So you can pick from anything that's marked sport, traditional, or wild.
Okay. Um,
So yours, you can pick Aikido, Arnis, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, Hey Huquan. They got some weird ones in here, man. Because they don't have a ton, you know? But then they've just got these weird, like, off the wall ones.
yeah, like Heihu Kun. I've never even heard of that. And they do upon a foe melee during game
Alright,
one.
so I'm institutional, which means I can pick sport, street, or wild. So I can pick anything, basically, except traditional. And then what's
I'm
cool about this, everybody out there listening, you pick these fighting styles, and it doesn't count as a skill like it would in TMNT, and then your fighting style levels up as you level up, giving you new abilities, new access to abilities, stuff like that. But right off the bat, it decides how you fight. So, like, let's look at Aikido. Aikido is a martial arts that's all about counters and grapples, grapple counters, basically. And basically, the core ability is if you have inflicted a status with a maneuver upon a foe in melee during a turn, gain one temporary will at the end of your turn. Then you get a core bonus. You get a base ability for this, which is a circular technique. When you successfully counter someone, you may grab them, and then it has supported maneuvers, which is the maneuvers later in combat that you can choose to do are based on your supported maneuvers, which I think is really cool.
That is really cool. Um, there's yeah, that is there's a lot of cool extra things that they add to you, but I actually think for my character, I'm going to go with Arnis.
So this is
Um,
also known as Eskrama. The national style of Philippines combines blade or baton with an open hand. Love that. So Nightwing all the way. Love
yeah.
Eskrama sticks. That
Or
gives you a core ability, Twin Form. Well, I'll let you read it because my voice sucks right now.
the core ability, twin form. Is that what it says? Let me zoom in a little
Yeah.
bit. My old man eyes, man. That's the one thing about this book is it's a little hard for me to see these things. Um, when you hit the same foe in melee with two maneuvers that causes damage on your turn, your target gains the unbalanced status. Um, I'm guessing that gives you perks for or your allies some advantages when you continue on with the combat. Um, core bonuses is +2 to my strength and a +1 to speed. Base ability is live hand. When you're using a club or a knife one-handed with the other free hand, you may deal its weapon damage when successfully performing any style supported maneuver in addition to any weapon damage you may already have inflicted. Um, so
It's pretty awesome.
that's pretty awesome. And supported maneuvers, barrage, counter, grab, knockdown, and press. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is gonna be fun. Um, so yeah, Arnis is gonna be my fighting style, and I'm
Hey,
gonna go ahead and
man.
put that +2 to strength and +1 to speed in my sheet.
Yeah, this one's
Let me
hard for
see.
me. Real hard for me because I'm trying to, like, make it work in my head of what I want this guy to be, you know?
Yeah,
So, I mean, right off the bat, if I want to swallow people, I need a fighting style that allows me to grab. I just do. No way around it.
um, yeah. I'm trying to find your option. Your options were a little different, right?
Yeah, the only thing I can't touch is inspirational or traditional. Street
Okay.
sport, wild. I'm all like I'm free to do any of those.
The next one down seems pretty close to your guy.
Yeah,
Pursuit Predator.
that's what I was looking at. The problem with that one is the core ability snap is perform a non-strike maneuver with a natural weapon that's supported by that weapon. Maximize that weapon's damage die. I'm planning on him being unarmed, and he doesn't have any natural weapons. Like
Your
unless
mouth is in the natural weapon with a
I
gun
mean,
grip.
not technically. I didn't take biting, so like I don't our teeth. So I don't
Oh,
technically have any natural. Like I can swallow them, but it doesn't. Oh my god, dog! Really? You're gonna chew that right now? I could swallow them, but it's not technically a natural weapon. I don't think.
does it do damage? The swallow attack?
It just inflicts the swallow status, whatever that
Okay.
is. And I have not looked that up. You know. So
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
kind of a tricky thing. Like I don't know if it would count towards the swallow. Look here. Status states. Swallowing. A swallowing character automatically inflicts their size damage on their swallowed target at the end of each turn. They're at disadvantage on all actions while the swallowed target is alive. In addition, if somebody manages to inflict an injury upon the swallower, they may forego the injury to end both the swallowed status and swallowing states violently. This ends the swallower regurgitates the swallowed target as a moment, or the character forgoes inflicting the injury to free them. So I don't know that that necessarily counts as like an unnatural, you know what I mean? Like a natural weapon. Natural weapon to me says like teeth, claws, talons, stuff like that.
Does it have a natural weapons section? Like a weapon section? Like
I
just
mean,
straight up list of weapons?
well, a natural weapon is anything you'd get from a minor trait, basically. A minor or major trait that does damage, I feel like.
This one does do damage. It does your size damage, right?
When you perform a non strike maneuver with a natural weapon that's supported by that weapon, so, like, I guess the swallow with the grab, maximize that weapon's damage die. Yeah, alright. I mean, you're the game master. If you're down with it, I'll take it.
I'm down with it. I think it works. It is a non-strike maneuver. Um, you're like swallowing this thing.
Right, right.
Um, yeah, I that makes sense to me. And you have like a damage die attached to it, so you have something to maximize mechanically.
Alright, so my fighting style is Pursuit Predator.
You're a frog being tired of being picked on by the big guys, and now it's your turn.
Now I'm the big guy, baby. Style rank would be 1. Style type wild. And then in that box, you want to check all your little supportive maneuvers. So I have bully, death blow, grab, knockdown, and press. All right. And then style ability. If I move into core ability and style ability, so is it different? Just gonna write them both down. So snap is my core ability, and that's what we've been talking about. Max.
Maneuver automatically inflict the prone status. Oh wait, that's a keto. I'm looking at the wrong one.
Yeah, so your harness would be twin form. When you hit the same foe in melee with 2 maneuvers that cause damage on your turn, your target gains the unbalanced status. And then the base ability is Live Hand. When using a club, knife, or one-handed with the other hand free, you may deal its weapon damage when successfully performing any style supported maneuver, in addition to any weapon damage it would already.
Um, oh, getting we're
Getting
doing
good. Yeah, getting good.
getting good.
Step
Yeah.
7. So you select skill packages. The package noted by your background must match one of the two separate types listed on the skill package. For example, a skill package listed professional or science may be chosen as a professional skill package or a science skill package. So we go back to your background. We go back to my background and your background.
Right.
What skill packages
I only got one, and that was scavenger.
was that? A skill package?
Um, yeah, I think it was the scavenger package,
No, I think
or was that an item?
that's equipment packages. Hold
That's
on,
equipment.
let's go back.
That's right.
Let's go on back. All right, so your backstory was self-taught survivor.
Yes.
As per city background, but you gain a survivor equipment package instead. Okay, so city background, self-taught survivor. So you actually got a bunch of bonuses you didn't realize you got, because I screwed that up. So you actually got a +2 on determination, a +2 on your willpower. You got +10 to your SHT. You know what you did. Know what you did, mutants in the now.
I know, right?
And then you get advantage on all your initiative rolls.
Oh, okay. Where are you reading that?
So, if you go back to the origin story, the self-taught survivor under rural background actually says same as city background. If you go over to the city background self-taught
Oh,
survivor, that's where you get your base stuff. That's how we screwed up. You
got
would
it.
also gain one basic or wild skill package and an additional wild skill package, 4 hobby skills, and then your equipment package would be scavenger instead of survivor.
Okay.
But
So,
I don't usually do equipment, in fairness,
okay.
especially for one-on-one games. I feel like
Yeah.
just work it
Yeah.
out.
It's just gonna be a fast,
Right.
fun game.
So now you pick your skill packages based on what I've already told you.
Yes.
For me, I was institutional. I think I wrote them down. Didn't I write them down somewhere?
Um,
2 basic skill packages and 1 hobby skill package. All right, so package ability. So everybody out there, when you take the skill packages, you actually get, so like I took hunting for mine. If I scroll over to the hunting skill package, if I can find it first, there we go. You actually get a +1 on your stat bump on that. So I get a +1 endurance from my hunting. Then it gives me a package ability too. If I successfully catch a prey or foe with bait or traps, you automatically gain surprise against them if you wish to initiate the fight. Now, then what you do is you actually get to take your primary skills. They list 3 primary skills, then they'll also list they'll list a certain number of primary skills and then optional skills. If you want, you can replace your primary skills with the optional skills. So, example, for hunting, I have baiting, camouflage, traps as primary skills in that package. But there's also the optional skills of hide and track. So, I'm going to say I definitely want traps. Well, actually, I want baiting. So, I'll put baiting down. I want camouflage. But I'm actually going to rotate out my trap skill for hide. Actually, I got camouflage. For track, for track. So now, instead of taking baiting, camouflage, and traps, I've got baiting, camouflage, and track, because track was one of my optional skills.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think yes.
All right, and I'll go through another one for everybody just to make it easier. So I've got domestic as well, so I figured he needs to make himself some food. So domestic is going to give me a +2 to determination. And then it's also going to give me a +1 affinity from the package. The package ability is when you maintain a home, all your allies regain will. This is a stupid one to take for him because he is alone. So we're going to cross that out. I can also ignore any disadvantage due to rough or narrow terrain, though I will still suffer a move reduction, and I can add 25% to my move. All right. And then my primary skills for traversal are athletics, climbing, and swimming. My optional skills are first aid and escape. So I definitely want climbing. I want swimming. But he's a big guy, so I'm gonna switch out athletics for my for first aid.
Athletics for first aid.
Yep. Then I get a hobby. Now with a hobby, you just straight up pick a skill.
Just any skill.
Any skill you want out of the skill list, which is a little bit after the packages. Hobby skills, unlike skill packages, are selected individually, and any skill can be selected as a hobby skill. But you cannot select any skill you already have from a package or trait, so you can't reselect a skill. While most hobby skills are while most hobby skills are granted by a background, a character also gains an additional number of hobby skills equal to your plus to cognitive ability, which we haven't actually finalized out cog, so we might get a couple extra there.
Okay. You are zipping around that that book, real quick. You got
Guys, this is my third or fourth character in this that I've created.
This is my first one. But some of these are kind of like, I don't know, they kind of make sense and are somewhat self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I'm noticing. So
I'm going to finalize my stats real quick. Got my take back adjustments here. My mutation bonuses. I gave myself some extra endurance, if I recall correctly. Yep. +2. So we're going to go down to endurance and add a +2 there. Then our style bonus, which was how we were fighting, as everybody remembers. I'm going to do this while Wiz is jumping around.
yeah,
So our style bonuses for Pursuit Predator was +1 prowess, +2 speed. So we'll pump that in. +1 prowess, +2 speed. And then we've got our skill package bonuses, which I have to go back there. Traversal gave me another +1 prowess and another +1 speed. And then hunting gave me a +1 endurance. Then we can add up our total attribute score there. So my cognition goes from a 16 to an 18. My determination stays the same at 15. Affinity stays the same at 17. Perception goes from a 15 to a 17. My strength stays the same at 9. He's big, but he's weak armed. His prowess goes from an 18 to a 20. His endurance goes from a 16 to a 19. And his speed goes from an 11 to a 14. And that's actually my finalized stat points, which I can jump into my original character sheet here. So, just going through this for everybody because we're getting long in the tooth for an episode.
A little
with me
bit.
editing. So now I put it on my core sheet. Cognition 18, determination 15, affinity 17, perception 17, strength 9, prowess 20, endurance 19, speed 14. Okay, now we get to do our prime modifiers. Go all the way back to our ability, our little attribute chart. Where it is, there it
Right,
is.
all the way up to the beginning of the
Yep.
book.
And we can get our little skill bonus, whatever. So, for the prime modifiers, for cognition, my cognition, I find 18. My prime mod is going to be a +4 on cognition. On determination, we're at a 15. It's going to be a +2. Affinity, 17. It's going to be a +3. Perception, 17. It's going to be a +3. Got a 9 in strength. We actually have a -1 on our strength rolls. My prowess is a 20, though. So I'm at a +4 there. Endurance is 19, another +4. Speed is 14, and that brings us at a +2. Then we go to the skill base. So the skill base is kind of the percentage that it starts at, kind of. I'm sorry. Yeah. The percentage that your skills start at, which is one of the things that I like so much better than TMNT. Instead of the arbitrary start base, it's based on your attributes. All your attributes kind of funnel into the skills that you have. So my cognitive skill base is 18, so that's going to be a 66%. 15 is going to be a 60. 17 is a 64. Got another 17 in perception, so that's another 64. Strength is a 9, that's going to be a low one at 43. Prowess is going to be a 20, so that's going to be up at 70. My endurance is a 19, so that brings me up to a 68. And then my speed is a 14, which gets me a 58 skill base. Then we got skill gain. Skill gain is how much it goes up by when you level up the character, basically. So your cognition, my cognition is 18, so that is going to be a +4. Now I just need to add all that stuff up, and he is basically ready to go. There's nothing else to him.
A little bit of back and forth on this one.
What do you mean a little bit?
Because you have all of these extra things you got to add up.
Yeah, yeah.
Not too bad though.
Where
Definitely
is...
better than the classic TMNT game.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's so much better in the result. You know what I mean? Like it's so much better in the offing. Like it's just as complicated to make a character, if not more so. But playing, I believe, would be a lot smoother, and it makes a lot more sense when you do play. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's hard, heavy on the back end, but the actual gameplay is gonna roll.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like. I mean, I haven't tried it yet, but I feel like that's the way it would be.
Once you get all of your different points added up, it goes pretty smoothly following this little chart, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. That's why I was kind of like rocking through it.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. I got a lot of +3s. But my speed, which is going to be kind of fun, something for you to keep in mind, is a 22 with
Wow.
everything added. It's a +5.
Wow.
I think he's going to be a swoop and take them down. I got that dive feature, so
Okay. So, for putting skill stuff together, okay, like your actual skill ratings, right? It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. For skill packages, the skill base is determined by the higher of the character's 2 attributes associated with the skill. So, like baiting. if you find baiting on the skill list, not the skill packages, on the skill
Right.
list. So baiting is perception and speed. So I would find my character sheet. I'd find that my perception is a 17, my speed is a 14. So I'm going to use the base skill base score of perception, which is a 64, over the speed base score of a 58. So my baiting. So on the little chart, I want to write in uh, um, perception and speed. So my skill base is a. Oh, what did I say? 64. Should have write small there, don't they?
Yeah.
And then your skill gain. Is associated with the skill, the lower of the two skills. The lower of the two skills is your skill gain for package skills. So my perception is my skill base, but my speed is going to be my skill gain, which is only a 3.
Okay.
Okay? And then I want to just check the little box on the character sheet for package skill. All right? Now I'm going to do my first hobby skill just to show what that is. So my first hobby skill is a deduction. So deduction is perception and affinity. So with hobby skills, the reverse is true. The skill base is determined by the lower of the skill's 2 attributes, and the higher of the 2 attributes determines the skill gain. So you have a quicker increase of skill percentage, but you start lower. So my hobby of deduction, I have perception and affinity. My affinity is a 17. My perception is a 17. It doesn't matter, unfortunately. But I would take the lower of the 2, which is 17. So another 64 on that. And then another plus 4. Okay. So, does that all make sense?
It does. I'm putting it together. This does make sense.
All right. So my next skill package one is camouflage, determination, and perception is my 2. What's up?
I would suggest anybody planning on playing this game definitely set an entire day for a session 0 for character creation.
Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm definitely gonna edit this down. It's still gonna be a long episode, but yeah. So it's not super fast. It is a long, drawn out period, without a doubt. All right. Everything else is just filling in stuff, and that's it. That's really it. Done and
Right.
done.
I okay. So, just so I'm double checking this correctly, on all of these all of these packages, these skill packages, you have the primary skill, which you have, right? That is yours. All of those are your skills, or is there a certain number that you're able to take out of that group of primary skills?
You have the 3, but you can switch those out with the other ones. The secondary
optional?
skills. Yeah, the optional. So like
Okay.
there's usually 3 skills listed for primary, and then there's 2 optional. You could switch out a primary one for an optional.
Okay.
You only
Alright.
ever get 3 from a package, but you could switch them out with the optional. So you can kind of tailor make your package a little bit, which really
Yeah.
lends to the build really well of the game. But
Yeah.
I think we'll use these characters some point in the future for a quick stream at some point.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I was just going through all of my various package. I picked 3 packages. My packages were going to be handler, spirituality, and hunting.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
Spirituality's got some kind of meditation, mysticism, philosophy. It's going to be a noble bird creature. I got them all picked out and lined out. I just got to finish doing my math, but I think we're definitely going to have some fun characters to play with.
I think so too. And I'm looking forward to doing that in the future.
Me too. Me too. Well, should we? I think we're winding down, right? Or do we have another one?
Yeah, let's
Do
go
we have?
ahead and wrap this thing up, man.
Okay.
We're all done with the characters for the most part. We took you guys through it. Again, I have edited this. It took us 2 hours to make characters, and we still have finishing touches like writing all the boxes in. So just keep that in mind when you're making these characters. They're very involved characters. But I am going to try and cut this down and make it a little bit more manageable for the podcast.
Yeah, that I think that might be a good idea. This one has been pretty extensive. But I am really looking forward to playing this. I think it's going to be fun characters. They give you a lot of flexibility to do a lot of things without getting lost in, too much mechanics, too much crunchiness during gameplay. All the crunchiness is on the back end so that the front end the actual gameplay can be smooth and fun, it looks like. And so we'll find out when we get our next one-on-one session going.
Well, we will
Um,
indeed. I do want to just really quickly plug if you're watching this, please check out Astral Drive. Please check out TMNT and Other Strangeness, which are our live streams, our live actual play streams. And we've got some more future stuff coming for actual plays. And if you have $6 to spend, please check out itch.io. Put in the search bar single mod, simple system with some fun crunch to it as well. And yeah, I made it. Our 1.5 kind of version is up now, so we improved on some of the rules, corrected some of the mistakes we made on the first one. So yeah, check that out.
yeah, and all of these episodes of Sanctorum can be found at wizardsrespite.com. It's a website where I launch all of these. You can also find our live plays there, and a lot of blogs and content regarding everything TTRPG, the industry, the actual games, game reviews, all kinds of things. If this is your hobby, it's a good place to swing by and check out. I think that pretty much does it for us tonight, Zach. Today.
Indeed, and indeed it does. Does it for our entire day, I think.
Well, for everybody out there, we'll be coming back at you in 2 weeks and keep rolling them dice.